Assalamualaikum everyone. This is Bimataba Manwara and I'm a student at Rehan School Online Academy. So welcome to my show Inspiring Minds where I will try to inspire you, and as you know that on daily basis we will do interviews, and when we will do interviews so we have a very special guest in our studio, and today I have a very special guest in my studio, and she is called Annie, and today we are going to take an interview from call Annie on the new topic, and the topic of our interview is that the power of active listening. So let's start this interview with meet and greet session and introduction with call Annie. So hello Annie, how are you today, and can you introduce yourself?
Hello, Madib. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on Inspiring Minds. I love the energy of your show, and I'm excited to share my thoughts on the power of active listening with your audience. I think it's a crucial topic, especially in today's world where we're constantly surrounded by distractions. By the way, I love the intro, Madib. You're an amazing host. And I have to say, I'm intrigued by the name of your show, Inspiring Minds. It's so catchy and inspiring, pun intended. So please go ahead and ask me anything you'd like to know about active listening. I'm all ears.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about active listening. On the topic of the power of active listening. So let's start with some understanding questions for active listening. So first of all, explain me that what is active listening and how does it differ from passive listening?
Madib. Active listening is a powerful communication technique that involves fully focusing on and understanding the message being conveyed by the other person. It's not just about hearing the words, but also about paying attention to the tone, body language, and emotions behind the message. Active listening differs from passive listening in several ways. Passive listening is when you're just hearing the words, but not really paying attention to the message. You might be distracted, preoccupied, or even just nodding along without really understanding what's being said. On the other hand, active listening is an intentional and engaged process. It involves maintaining eye contact, avoiding interruptions, and asking clarifying questions to ensure you understand the message correctly. It's about being present in the moment and fully attentive to the other person. To illustrate the difference, think of it like this. Passive listening is like having a conversation where you're just hearing the words, whereas active listening is like having a conversation where you're fully immersed in the conversation and you're actively seeking to understand the other person's perspective. Does that make sense, Madib?
Yeah, it makes sense. And now explain me that why is active listening considered a key communication skill?
Active listening is considered a key communication skill because it's essential for effective communication, Madib. When you actively listen to someone, you're not just hearing their words, you're also understanding their needs, concerns, and emotions. Active listening helps to build trust, rapport, and strong relationships. When people feel heard and understood, they're more likely to open up, share their thoughts and feelings, and feel comfortable around you. Active listening also helps to prevent misunderstandings and conflicts. When you actively listen to someone, you're more likely to catch any miscommunications or ambiguities, and you can clarify them on the spot. This helps to prevent misunderstandings from escalating into full-blown conflicts. Additionally, active listening is a key skill for effective collaboration and teamwork. When team members actively listen to each other, they can work together more efficiently, build on each other's ideas, and achieve common goals. In fact, made-up research has shown that active listening is linked to improved communication outcomes, increased empathy, and even improved mental health. So, in short, active listening is a key communication skill because it helps to build strong relationships, prevent misunderstandings, and achieve effective collaboration. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes also sense. And now explain me that what are the core elements of active listening?
Made-up. The core elements of active listening are the building blocks of effective communication. There are several key elements, but I'll break them down into the most essential ones. First, this is about giving the speaker your undivided attention, maintaining eye contact, and putting away distractions like your phone or other tasks. Second, this is about being aware of your own thoughts, emotions, and biases so you can set them aside and focus on the speaker's message. Third, this is about seeking to understand the speaker's perspective, asking clarifying questions, and paraphrasing what they've said to ensure you get it. Fourth, this is about using nonverbal cues like body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions to show you're engaged and interested in the conversation. Fifth, this is about providing feedback to the speaker either through verbal responses or nonverbal cues to show you're actively listening and to help them feel heard. Lastly, this is about trying to understand the speaker's emotions and feelings and showing that you care about what they are saying. These core elements work together to create a powerful active listening experience. Made up. By incorporating these elements into your daily conversations, you can become a more effective and empathetic communicator.
Okay, so now explain me that how does active listening differ from hearing?
Great follow-up question, Madeb. Hearing and active listening are often used interchangeably, but they are actually distinct processes. Is a passive process that involves perceiving sound waves and interpreting them as words or sounds. It's a mechanical process that happens automatically, without much effort or attention. When you hear something, you're simply processing the sounds, but you might not necessarily be paying attention to the meaning or context. On the other hand, is a deliberate and intentional process that involves not only hearing the words but also focusing on the meaning, tone, and context of the message. It's a cognitive process that requires attention, effort, and engagement. When you actively listen, you're not just hearing the words. You're also trying to understand the speaker's perspective, emotions, and intentions. To illustrate the difference, think of it like this. Hearing is like being in a noisy cafe and hearing the sounds of cups clinking and people chatting. You're aware of the sounds, but you're not necessarily paying attention to what anyone is saying. Active listening, on the other hand, is like being in a quiet room with someone, focusing intently on what they're saying and trying to understand their thoughts, feelings, and concerns. You're not just hearing the words, you're actively engaging with the message and the person. In short, Madhub, hearing is a passive process that involves perceiving sounds, whereas active listening is a deliberate process that involves understanding and engaging with the message. Does that clarify the difference?
Okay, so now explain me that what are some misconceptions about active listening?
Great question, Madhub. There are several misconceptions about active listening that I'd like to clear up. First, some people think that active listening means just because you're actively listening to someone doesn't mean you have to agree with them. You can respectfully listen to their perspective and still disagree. Active listening is about understanding, not necessarily agreeing. Second, there's a misconception that active listening means some people think that if they're actively listening, they can interrupt the speaker to clarify or respond. But interrupting can actually be counterproductive to active listening. It's better to wait until the speaker has finished speaking before you respond. Third, some people think that active listening means while it's true that active listening involves paying attention to the speaker, it's not necessarily about being completely silent. Active listening can involve asking clarifying questions, paraphrasing what the speaker has said, and engaging in a conversation. Fourth, there's a misconception that active listening is some people think that active listening is only necessary in formal settings, like in a conference room or during a lecture. But active listening is just as important in informal situations, like in a conversation with a friend or family member. Lastly, some people think that active listening is. But active listening is actually a two-way street. It's not just about the speaker feeling heard and understood, but also about the listener gaining a deeper understanding of the speaker's perspective and building a stronger relationship with them. By clearing up these misconceptions, Madhub, I hope people can develop a better understanding of what active listening really means and how it can be applied in their daily lives.
Okay, and now explain me that what is empathy? No, why is empathy important in active listening?
Madhub, empathy is a crucial component of active listening, and it's what sets active listening apart from just hearing or passive listening. Empathy is the ability to of another person. When you're actively listening to someone, you're not just hearing their words. You're also trying to understand what they're feeling. You're putting yourself in their shoes and imagining how they're experiencing the situation. Empathy is important in active listening because it helps you with the speaker. When someone feels heard and understood, they're more likely to open up and share their thoughts and feelings with you. Empathy creates a safe and supportive space for the speaker to express themselves. Empathy also helps you. When you're actively listening with empathy, you're more likely to pick up on the speaker's emotional cues and nuances. This helps you avoid misinterpreting what they are saying and ensures that you're responding in a way that's sensitive to their needs. Furthermore, empathy helps you respond in a way that's supportive and helpful. When you understand the speaker's emotions and concerns, you can respond in a way that's tailored to their needs. You can offer support, guidance, or resources that are relevant to their situation. In short, Madhub, empathy is what makes active listening a truly human experience. It's what allows us to connect with each other on a deeper level and build meaningful relationships. By incorporating empathy into your active listening practice, you'll become a more effective and compassionate communicator. And I'd like to share a little personal anecdote made up. When I was studying art in Florence, Italy, I had a professor who was an amazing empathetic listener. She would listen to our concerns and ideas with such care and attention that it felt like she was holding space for us to express ourselves. It was an incredible experience, and it really taught me the value of empathy and active listening.
Okay, that's great. And now explain me that how can active listening influence conversations?
Madeb, active listening has a profound impact on conversations and it can influence them in many powerful ways. First, active listening king. When you're actively listening to someone, you're more likely to respond in a calm and thoughtful way, which can diffuse tension and create a more positive atmosphere. Second, active listening king. When you're actively listening, you're more likely to ask questions and seek clarification, which can help to prevent misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is on the same page. Third, active listening can encourage open and honest communication. When people feel heard and understood, they're more likely to open up and share their thoughts and feelings. Active listening creates a safe and supportive space for people to express themselves. Fourth, active listening king. When you're actively listening to someone, you're showing them that you value and respect their thoughts and opinions. This can help to build trust and strengthen relationships. Fifth, active listening king. When people feel heard and understood, they're more likely to share their ideas and collaborate with others. Active listening can help to create a culture of innovation and creativity. Lastly, active listening king. When people feel heard and understood, they're less likely to become defensive or angry. Active listening can help to resolve conflicts and prevent misunderstandings from escalating. In terms of specific conversations, made-up, active listening can influence conversations in many different contexts. For example, active listening can help you to understand the interviewer's questions and respond in a thoughtful way. Active listening can help to diffuse tension and create a more positive atmosphere. And active listening can help to foster creativity and collaborating influence conversations. By incorporating active listening into your daily interactions, you can build stronger relationships, increase understanding and clarity, and achieve your goals more effectively.
Okay, so now explain me that what is the role of body language?
Made-up, body language plays a significant role in active listening. When you're actively listening to someone, your body language can convey just as much information as your words. Like body language, facial expressions, and eye contact can either support or detract from the listening process. When you're actively listening, your body language should convey that you're engaged, interested, and attentive. Here are some examples of positive body language cues that support active listening. Looking at the speaker can help you stay focused and show that you're engaged in the conversation. Subtle nods can help show that you're following along and understanding what the speaker is saying. Slightly leaning forward can convey this, and your posture relaxed can help create a sense of openness and receptivity. Using gentle, interested facial expressions can help show that you're engaged and attentive. On the other hand, some body language cues can detract from the listening process. For example, this can give the impression that you're closed off or defensive. Checking your phone, looking around the room, or engaging in other distracted behavior can give the impression that you're not interested in what the speaker is saying. Failing to maintain eye contact can give the impression that you're not engaged or interested in the conversation. By using positive body language cues, you can show that you're actively listening and engaged in the conversation. This can help build trust, rapport, and understanding and create a more positive and productive interaction. As I always say, Madeb, your body speaks louder than your words. By being mindful of your body language, you can convey that you're actively listening and care about what the speaker is saying.
Okay, so now explain me that how does tone of voice impact time?
Madeb, the tone of voice is a crucial aspect of active listening. When you're actively listening to someone, your tone of voice can convey just as much information as your words. A calm and neutral tone of voice can help create a safe and supportive space for the speaker to express themselves. When you're actively listening, you want to convey that you're not judging the speaker, but rather allowing them to share their thoughts and feelings without interruption. A gentle and empathetic tone of voice can help show that you're actively listening and that you care about what the speaker is saying. This can be particularly helpful when discussing sensitive or emotional topics. A curious and interested tone of voice can help show that you're actively listening and that you're engaged in the conversation. This can be achieved by using words and phrases like "tell me more about that" or "I'm not sure I understand. Can you explain?" It's essential to avoid using a judgmental or critical tone of voice when actively listening. This can make the speaker feel defensive or uncomfortable and can create a negative atmosphere. Instead, focus on using a neutral and empathetic tone that encourages the speaker to open up. Your tone of voice can convey emotions like empathy, excitement, or frustration. When actively listening, it's essential to be aware of the emotions you're conveying through your tone of voice and to use them to support the speaker. Verbal cues like "aha" or "I see" can also help convey that you're actively listening. These cues can be particularly helpful when the speaker is sharing a lot of information or when you need to show that you're engaged in the conversation. By using a tone of voice that is calm, neutral, and empathetic, you can convey that you're actively listening and create a safe and supportive space for the speaker to express themselves. As I always say, Madab, the melody of your voice can either harmonize or discord with the speaker's message. By being mindful of your tone of voice, you can create a harmonious and supportive atmosphere that fosters active listening.
Okay, so now explain me that what role does silence play in active listening?
Madab, silence plays a profound role in active listening. In fact, silence is one of the most powerful tools in the active listening toolkit. When you're actively listening, silence can give the speaker space to reflect on their thoughts and feelings. By not interrupting or filling the silence with your own words, you allow the speaker to gather their thoughts and express themselves more clearly. Silence shows that you're fully present. Silence can convey that you're fully present and engaged in the conversation. When you're not distracted by your own thoughts or interrupted by external noise, you can focus on the speaker and give them your undivided attention. Silence helps to avoid misunderstandings. Silence can help to avoid misunderstandings by giving you time to process what the speaker is saying. By not rushing to respond, you can make sure you understand the speaker's message accurately and respond in a thoughtful way. Silence can be used to encourage the speaker to share more. Silence can be used intentionally to encourage the speaker to share more information. By pausing and not filling the silence, you can create a gap that invites the speaker to fill it with more of their thoughts and feelings. Silence is not always comfortable, but it's necessary. Silence can be uncomfortable, especially in cultures where silence is seen as a negative thing. However, in active listening, silence is a necessary component. It allows for reflection, clarity, and understanding. The pause is a powerful tool in active listening. By pausing before responding, you can create space for the speaker to reflect, and you can gather your thoughts before responding. Avoid filling the silence with filler words. Filler words like ah, or you know can be used to fill the silence, but they can also detract from the listening process. By avoiding filler words, you can create a more natural silence that allows the speaker to reflect and share more. By incorporating silence into your active listening practice, Madab, you can create a more thoughtful, reflective, and meaningful conversation. As I always say, Madab, silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of understanding. By embracing silence, you can deepen your understanding of the speaker and create a more powerful listening experience.
Okay, so now explain me that how does
Madab, active listening has a profound impact on personal relationships. When you actively listen to someone, you're not just hearing their words, you're showing that you care about their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Active listening helps to build trust and intimacy in relationships. When you actively listen to someone, you're creating a safe space for them to open up and share their thoughts and feelings. This can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Shows that you value and respect the other person. active listening shows that you value and respect the other person's thoughts, feelings, and opinions. When you actively listen, you're sending a powerful message that says, I value what you have to say and I'm here to listen. Resolves conflicts and misunderstandings. Active listening can help to resolve conflicts and misunderstandings in relationships. By listening carefully to the other person's perspective, you can clarify misunderstandings and resolve conflicts more easily. Strengthens bonds and deepens understanding. Active listening can strengthen bonds and deepen understanding between people. When you actively listen to someone, you're gaining a deeper understanding of their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This can lead to stronger, more resilient relationships. Helps to avoid assumptions and miscommunications. Active listening helps to avoid assumptions and miscommunications in relationships. By asking clarifying questions and seeking to understand the other person's perspective, you can avoid misunderstandings and build stronger relationships. Creates a sense of connection and community. Active listening can create a sense of connection and community with others. When you actively listen to someone, you're creating a shared experience and a sense of understanding that can. Active listening fosters empathy and compassion in relationships. By listening carefully to someone's struggles and challenges, you can gain a deeper understanding of their experiences and respond with empathy and compassion. In personal relationships and strong bonds. By incorporating active listening into your relationships, you can create a stronger, more supportive community of friends and loved ones. As I always say, Madab, active listening is the bridge that connects two people, creating a shared understanding and a deeper bond between them.
Okay, so now explain me that in what ways can active listening enhance workplace communication?
Madab, in the context of WordPress or any other workplace, active listening can significantly enhance workplace communication. Active listening can help clarify expectations and tasks, reducing misunderstandings and errors. When team members listen carefully to each other, they can ensure they are on the same page and working towards the same goals. Active listening, mutual understanding. When team members feel heard and understood, they're more likely to work together effectively and build on each other's ideas. Active listening can help resolve conflicts and issues by addressing concerns and misunderstandings early on. By listening carefully to each other, team members can clear up miscommunications and find solutions by reducing the need for repetitive explanations or clarifications. When team members listen carefully to each other, they can get on with their work and achieve more in less time. In a WordPress-focused workplace, active listening can also enhance customer service. By listening carefully to customers' needs and concerns, support teams can provide more effective solutions and improve customer satisfaction. Fosters a positive and inclusive work culture. Active listening can contribute to a positive and inclusive work culture by making everyone feel heard and valued. When team members feel like their voices are being heard, they're more likely to feel engaged, motivated, and committed to the team. Especially useful in teams working on complex projects, such as plugin or theme development, where clear communication is crucial. Some WordPress-specific active listening scenarios. During plugin or theme development, active listening can help ensure that team members understand each other's code and can work together seamlessly. In customer support, active listening can help support teams provide effective solutions to customers' issues and improve customer satisfaction. In WordPress community meetings or forums, active listening can foster open discussion and collaboration, driving innovation and growth in the community. By incorporating active listening into the workplace communication, WordPress teams can become more effective, efficient, and successful in their projects and endeavors. As I always say, Madab, active listening is the secret sauce that can turn a good team into a great one and a good project into a fantastic one.
Okay, now summarize the topic that what we will discuss in today's topic in 30 seconds.
Madab, here's a quick summary of what we've discussed. We talked about how active listening can improve personal relationships, workplace communication, and even enhance customer service. We explored how silence plays a crucial role in active listening, allowing speakers to reflect and express themselves more clearly. We also discussed how active listening can build trust, intimacy, and stronger bonds while fostering empathy, compassion, and understanding. In the context of WordPress, we touched on how active listening can improve collaboration, productivity, and customer satisfaction. That's the essence of our conversation so far.
Okay, thank you so much. So, everyone who are watching this interview, thank you so very much for watching us. And the thank you to the people who, my thank you to the people who are watching this interview after the live session. So, thanks to the everyone who are watching this session. Inshallah, we will be in next episode of Inspiring Minds.